Let me show you the faces of those that presented themselves for the screening today. There are 17 of them, including sitting governors and former governors, as well as former vice president. They include former vice president Atiku Abubakar and former Senate president Bukola Saraki, former SGF Pius Ayim, sitting governors Bala Muhammad, Aminu Tambuwa, journalist and publisher Dele Momodu, and sitting governors as also Yinsam Wike, Samuel Abunwa, Udom Emmanuel, and a few others. The names are right there on your screen. Of course, Peter Obi, Ayafaroshe. Now, my guest is also on that bill, a guest that will be joining us tonight on the program today. She's the only woman on that list of the 17. She's the youngest also, 37-year-old presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, one of those who campaigned vigorously for the Not Too Young to Run bill, which she perhaps is now enjoying right now. She's tested her popularity by contesting for several elected positions, but the most recent being the Lekki State House of Assembly seat in Lagos. She's a strong feminist and advocate of gender equality. Tari understands the place of mentorship and empowerment. She's an activist. She will supervise various community interventions to ensure the protection of the rights of women and children. I'm being joined live right here with me in our Abuja studio by the PDP presidential aspirant Tari Oliver. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Shane, good evening and thank you for having me.
Let's start by hearing from you your experience today. Were you intimidated at all? I mean, being the only woman, that's on one hand. You're also the youngest of all of the lot today. How does that? How does that feel?
I don't have any sort of feeling of intimidation because I have a clear vision of a United States of Nigeria. And they were fascinated by that. They've been hearing about it and they wanted to speak to me directly. And they actually told me at the end of the day that you're the person we're spending the longest time with. Ever.
I heard that you spend
yes.
the most time
with them.
Committee.
Yes, because they wanted me to give them like my manifesto. They wanted to know what I've done so far. I have come this far. I am preparing for the primaries. So yes, so I told them I have a clear vision. It's not shaking. It's set. It's the set agenda. It's security. It's electricity, and it's tech. Why am I saying this? You know, we know our economy is bad, all of these things, indices and all of that. But it doesn't matter the economic policy you put on ground if you do not have security in place. Everything is going to crash. And right now, we're running a system of security that it's not going to work. It's never worked. It will not work. And it doesn't matter how much equipment you purchase, it still won't work. Because security has moved beyond equipment into human security. What does that mean? It means that it is the people that will create the security and not the equipment. Right now, we're running a policy where you still bring somebody all the way from Calabar, train him for 3 to 6 months, you send him to a place like Zamfara. He doesn't understand the language, he doesn't understand the terrain, he doesn't look like the people, they don't know, he doesn't know the people don't know him, so he's a soft target. But if you get the people within that community and you train them and you equip them to go back to that community, number one, even if you don't
sort of community policing or state policing?
It is both. It is both community and it is state. It is community and it's state. Let me explain this. When we say community policing, people are saying that, okay, the governors are going to use this. No. That's not what we're talking about. The federal government can actually pay. All the federal government needs is the data to say these people are within this community, trained in this community. So there's no conversation about who is using who against who. But for the state policing, you see, we have borders at the in between local governments. We have borders at the states. And let me tell you why. When we fought COVID, what did we do? We locked down our borders. So what it means is that if we all lock down our borders, then we'll be able to, at every point, know where the issues are and where there are breaches. But if everything is porous just the way it is right now, it doesn't matter how much security equipment you deploy, it's not going to work.
Let me bring because I actually wanted to talk about a few things, but since you jumped into your manifesto, we are as good as just discussing them. So the argument against state police, and I wanted to know your idea of maneuvering such a difficulty. If you look at local government elections are conducted by state independent electoral commissions.
Yes.
Now, in most, I mean, I'm not sure how many states you have where the sitting ruling political party in such state have not had the whole local government winning everything. And people have made that example.
Yes.
That if you allow governors to take charge of the security and policing in that state, this is one of the arguments that just like the state independent electoral commissions, that they will take charge and it's going to be a winner takes all. The enemies to the, I mean, those who have dissent to the sitting governor or the sitting party would definitely be a target. How do you hope to fight that kind of issue? Okay,
so now this is where technology comes in. First and foremost, you cannot have a system of government, a productive system, where someone sits in Abuja and wants to cater for the needs of 774 local government. It's not going to work. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Governors must be in charge, but there must be technology deployed to ensure that there's transparency. If you have the database of the people within every community, within every local government, and the state knows its job, the federal government knows, there's a kind of transparency, not what is happening here, when nobody knows who is where at what point in time. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the federal government can still maintain the payments procedure to make sure that they are in charge, but the people should be recruited from the community and deployed back to the community. So I am saying,
if you are to restructure, because you're looking at a whole restructuring model that you're talking about, that every policeman should serve in his own state.
No, that's not what I'm saying. In the state of residence, not origin. So it is where you are resident. Now, Sheung, if you are residing here in Abuja, right? If you need security, it's going to be provided for you here in Abuja. If you want to serve, it's going to be here in Abuja. You don't need to go back to Oyo or Ogun or wherever you come from. So that is the difference between
dynamics,
what. Yes, it should be residence.
Because Afenifere, for example, had come out to say the Amotekun security network is working in some of the states of the Southwest. And the federal government should look into allowing this model to work. If that model works, do you think that should you get a ticket of your party, win an election, become Nigeria's next president, would you go that route?
I am not going to go that route because even from the name, it shows ethnic, right? Now, it's not only the Yoruba people that are living within the Southwest. So what I'm saying is that irrespective of wherever the person comes from, if the person is a law-abiding citizen within that community, the person should be available and willing, and it should be allowed to serve within any capacity.
So how long do you think we can fix the issue?
It's just for the president not to be afraid of anybody. You know, it's a system where president...
It has to be with the law also.
Yes.
Because there's a structure that establishes this.
Yes, but the Chapter 2 of the same constitution says the protection of lives and properties is the primary responsibility of government. And whatever means government will apply or deploy to protect lives and properties should not be argued by anybody.
All right. So, I mean, in terms of the economy, I mean, you probably will have heard, and you mentioned tech. So it comes to mind, because you hear 42 or 45 billion US dollars, that's how much it took Elon Musk to purchase or to buy over Twitter.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we know that space can give you such an amount of money that can change our economy. How do you hope to tap into that space? Because you mentioned tech as one of their agenda.
Yes. Sheung, before we get to tech, we must address the issue of security and electricity, because electricity is the major driver of tech. If you don't have power, there's nothing you can do with technology. I hope you know that. So I've been advocating that electricity should be removed from the exclusive list, which they have done, into the concurrent list. And state governments will set up policies that would enable them to attract investors, and investors will invest in electricity and sell the power to their people. So once that is done, then we deploy tech. And why I'm saying it has to be a state policy is this: you cannot deploy tech from central Abuja to 774 local government. You will fail even before you begin. But you can do that within the state, and you can set up tech hubs, and you can set up institutions that will empower young people to actually fend for themselves, to do something legitimate, something different from the barbing salon, hair making, dressmaking. No, our young people are very intelligent. All you need to do is ensure that there's complete internet high-power internet services available, and you can have smart cities, you can have tech hubs. The most important thing is that you will have data for people to be able to communicate with themselves. Even right here in Nigeria, you can actually stay here in Nigeria and work in America.
All right.
You know what's happening now.
You're an activist, and you thought, I mean, you're one of those who spoke loudly about not too young to run bill. So you're happy that
I am excited.
You received the form. It was real that you received the form without paying a dime.
No.
You paid expression of interest form.
I don't know if you follow the news. The market women purchased my form. Yeah, because you have to purchase the expression of interest.
Yes.
Yes.
So they did that for you.
They did that for me.
That's
yes.
great. But how did you feel that our laws are coming into effect?
Yes, it shows that young people, the voices of young people, is actually becoming heard, and the voices of women. And we need to continue pushing. We need to continue advocating. We need to come out to run. Power is not served a la carte. You need to participate. And we have participated in the advocacy level, at the advocacy level. And right now, we are saying that it's our time to run, and not just run to win.
So you're here to win?
I'm here to win, Cheryl.
No intimidation?
Not at all.
Funding, how are you going to come back? Are you hoping?
Yeah.
Just quickly.
I am not an advocate for money politics, because I believe that money politics is why we're in a mess. It doesn't matter how much. If you like, you spend 5 billion, 10 billion. It is not charity. The money goes back. That's why you have abandoned projects everywhere, roads that will never be completed, or hospitals that are abandoned. That's just it. Nigerians should understand that it's not rocket science. It is garbage in, it is garbage out. So I do not expect to spend all of that big money to win. I expect that people should be able to vote based on the policies. I expect that people should be able to vote based on the vision. I understand that money plays a major role, and we are crowdfunding. We'll be able to take up the basic necessity and the basic needs of delegates. And aside that, we are not open to be able to buy someone's or pay for the vote. No, we are not open to do that.
I'm excited about your ambition, and because I talk to mostly men on this program, so each time I have people who step out of the barrier and out of the line to get into the arena, I'm so always very excited, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Sheon.
Mrs. Tari Oliver, thank you so much for joining us. Presidential aspirants of the PDP.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Don't forget the breaking news we are following for you. As soon as the PDP is able to mention the names of the two aspirants whose names have come under the disqualification tag, we will let you know. 2 aspirants have been disqualified out of 17 that were screened by the Senator David Mark-led screening committee of the PDP. That's how we leave it tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.